G'day, I'm Gary. I live in Southern California, and today I'm going to stake this cherry tomato. It's a volunteer that came up in my raised bed here. It's starting to grow across my walkway, so I just want to stake it out of the way. The way I'm going to stake it is I'm going to suspend it from this hook that I made out of 3/8 rebar. I measured from the top beam here down to the soil, and it measured around 9 feet. So I cut this piece of rebar, I bent it and made a hook. All I have to do now is hang this hook over the beam. I've already pre-cut and assembled a couple of pieces of electrical wire. Now the electrical wire I just wrap around the rebar and I tightly bind it. So these pieces of electrical wire are scrap. They measure about 5 or 6 inches. So I just make a loop, wrap it around the rebar, and that's got a nice tight bond, and that's not going to go anywhere. I like using the electrical wire. I use the plastic coated electrical wire because that's long lasting, so I can use this next year. Tomatoes in our climate are perennial. This one may grow for 10 years or more. So I'm just going to connect it to the rebar. I've got several branches that I'm going to work with. I just want to get it off the ground. I've noticed something's already starting to eat the green tomatoes. So I want to get it off the ground, and that will also help protect it from any critters that come along to eat it. So I'm just going to loop this around, tie it off like that. Doesn't have to be that tight, it's not tied around the stem of the tomato. So that's that one. This one here is a little longer, so I can move that into the next one. I try to set the wire up around where it branches off. That gives it a little extra stability and support. So this one, I'll just loop like that. I've also got a third leader, and this is even a little longer still. So I'll bring this one all the way to the top. So what I might do here is I'll put 2 in the same piece of wire. So I'll put these 2 together like so. And I'll just simply loop that around. Like I said, this doesn't have to be very tight, just needs to hold it in position. I think that's pretty good. This one here, maybe I'll cut another piece of wire and attach that a little higher up. So I'll figure out what height I want to put it. Wrap the wire around the rebar again and just twist it until it's tight. So now that's nice and firm. I'll put that one in there like so. There's a smaller one or 2 coming up. So as they get a little longer, I'll attach it to the rebar. I'll just keep adding electrical wire until I get it to maybe 6 foot tall. And once I get it to 6 foot tall, I may put another rebar hook in. I may even just trim it, just to shape it. And that's pretty much it. I will prune some of the lower leaves off the ground just to get a little bit of airflow close to the ground. And when I water, none of the water will be splashing up on the leaves. So a lot of problems occur when you get the bottom leaves wet, and it may carry up the plant. So I'll prune the lower leaves off, but all the upper leaves I'll leave be, because the upper leaves will shade the tomatoes. And if you took too many leaves off the top, in our climate, you'll get a lot of sun scald. So your tomatoes, if we get a heat wave, they'll burn. So I'd rather keep them shady. And with cherry tomatoes, I haven't noticed a difference between pruning them or leaving them be. Now if I was going to grow them in a greenhouse or an environment where there's higher humidity, yes, I agree, and I can see the need to prune some of the leaves just to get the airflow around it. But like I said, here in Southern California, our main issue is the sun, and the leaves protect the tomatoes from the sun. I know some people believe that if you prune your tomatoes, you're going to maximize your yield. In my experience, I haven't found that to be true. I seem to get just as much if I leave the leaves on. I've been using rebar hooks to support a lot of things. I've been using it to support my tomatoes. I've also got a video that I recently made on how to make a simple portable trellis, because I know not everyone's going to have a place to hang a rebar hook from. I mean, you could hang it from a tree, you could hang it from your garage. There's other places you could hang it, but I'll post a link in the description. So now I've got another plant staked using these rebar hooks. So this tomato can stay here for a long time. Like the tomatoes are perennial, I would consider the rebar hooks kind of a perennial because they're going to last me a lifetime. In the hot blazing sun, they're warm to the touch because they are air cooled. I do have dragonflies that use them as perches, and if it doesn't burn the dragonflies' feet, it's going to be safe for the plants. And I've been using it for a number of years now, and I haven't had any issues with the heat. They are the perfect thing, in my opinion, to grow on. If I want to move it from one part of my garden to another, I just have to unhook it at the top and move it around. If this tomato doesn't make it, I can use the hook elsewhere, or I can plant something else in its place. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, feel free to subscribe. We're putting up a lot of videos now, and we've got a lot of content up on our channel. So if you want to go back through the previous videos and watch some of those, feel free to do that. With that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat what you grow.